The woman pushed her 2-year-old son off the cliff with her own hands, because it was the only way she could think of to save her son. Just last night, the woman drove her son to catch the mistress. To make herself feel better, she skillfully lit a cigarette, but just after a puff, she choked her son. She hurriedly threw away the cigarette to comfort her son. As a result, the car hit and killed a deer. The woman took out her mobile phone and gave it to her son, and then got out of the car to check the situation. But just then the accident happened. Her car was the latest model of intelligent AI. Steel battle armor bulletproof plate can be connected to the control system through the app. At that moment, the son's press just opened the software interface. When the woman found out, the son had already triggered the surveillance mode that locked the body completely. The woman wanted to stop, but it was too late. She tried to ask her son to unlock the car, but the 2-year-old child could not understand. The anxious woman unconsciously shouted up, but this scared the child, and the phone also fell down. At this moment, the woman was a little broken, because her husband had said this car is extremely safe. Once locked, the people inside absolutely cannot get out. The woman called out for help in desperation, but there was no one in the middle of nowhere. She tried to wake up the voice assistant, but the AI was also losing efficacy in the vault mode. She tried to use a stone to break the window of the car, but also of no avail. However, it never rains but it pours. The commotion had attracted a wild dog. The woman looked around with a flashlight and saw no sign of it. As a result, just when she turned around, the wild dog suddenly sprang up. Fortunately, the woman wielded a wrench, scaring the dog away. The woman pushed her 2-year-old son off the cliff with her own hands, but she did it to save him. A few hours ago, her son was trapped in the car. The woman tried everything, but couldn't open the car door. She leaned against the car window to take a break, but accidentally she fell asleep. By the time she woke up, it was already dawn. She rushed to check on her son's condition and found that it had developed a red rash from the heat. If she didn't get him out in time, probably it wouldn't be long before he passed out. The woman took off her t-shirt and put it over the skylight. This would keep her son cooler. Now she had to go and get help. She vaguely remembered that on the way here, that a sign said there was an airport nearby. But when she found it after all the trouble she had gone through, she was completely dumbfounded. There was no airport here, and only a long-lost plane. But the woman still did not give up. She climbed into the cabin to look for help. However, she searched the entire cabin, but did not find a living person. Luckily, she was not too stupid, thought of using smoke to send a signal. Then she went to the river to get some water. Now she started to rush back. Halfway back, she found a t-shirt. On closer inspection, she found it was her own. A sense of foreboding came to mind. She immediately ran over to see her son, and found that her child had already fainted. No matter how she shouted, there was no response. The woman felt a sense of despair, but she couldn't give up yet. In frustration, she angrily picked up a wrench and started pounding on the car, but it had no effect at all. She then used her body to continuously hit against the car, letting out her feelings of powerlessness. Finally, the woman ran out of strength. She despairingly collapsed by the roadside and fell asleep unconsciously. Her 2-year-old son was trapped in the car for 18 hours. After trying everything and failing, the woman lay down on the side of the road and fell asleep. She didn't know how long it had been when she finally woke up, and she hurriedly went to check on her son's condition. She found that he seemed to have stopped breathing. The woman completely broke down, filled with self-blame, but after a while, her son miraculously regained consciousness. The woman was overjoyed. At that moment, the dog came back. The woman crawled under the car and fought with the dog, but the dog was very clever. It went around woman's back and bit her coat cheek's bone. She struggled to break free. At that moment, the dog suddenly realized that there was a dead deer under the car. The woman in front of it suddenly lost appeal. The dog began to feast on the dead deer. Taking this opportunity, the woman pushed the deer out, but in the next second, the car suddenly started sliding backward. The woman hurriedly braced herself against the car, because a few meters away was a cliff. Fortunately, the car was finally stopped by a large rock. The woman knelt on the edge of the cliff, blaming herself for being an incompetent mother. Looking at the hundreds of meters high cliff, the woman suddenly thought of a way to save her son. She used the wrench to smash the stone stuck in the tire, and then pushed against the front of the car towards the cliff. Her husband had said that this car had the highest safety rating. Now she could only hope for that. If she didn't do this, her son would have no way out. The woman clenched her teeth and exerted all her strength to successfully push the car off the cliff. This time, fate finally stopped playing tricks on her. The intelligence system detected that the car was in free fall and instantly used the balanced landing function. Seeing the car land smoothly, the woman didn't care about the danger and rushed to the bottom of the cliff at the fastest speed. To her surprise, the car body was intact, just covered in a thick layer of dust. Because she couldn't see her son's condition, the woman cried anxiously. Then she realized that the car was already unlocked. She tried and found that the car door could indeed be opened. The woman hurriedly checked her son's condition, although he still couldn't be awakened. At least he was breathing. After a few minutes, The car restarted. After completing a self-check, the woman immediately took her child to the hospital with the doctor's full efforts. It didn't take long for the child to wake up. This woman was undoubtedly lucky, but it also serves as a reminder to all parents to protect their children. Okay, that's the end of this video. See you in the next episode.